This is the story of a miraculous act of deliverance, a moment that stopped time, defied the laws of nature, and showcased the unfathomable power of God. Yes, we're talking about one of the most extraordinary episodes in the Bible, the parting of the Red Sea. Gather around as we journey back in time to explore this timeless act of divine intervention. It all begins with the Israelites, led by Moses, fleeing Egypt. After years of enslavement, Moses had gone to Pharaoh armed with God's command, "Let my people go." And finally, after 10 punishing plagues demonstrated God's might, Pharaoh relented, allowing the Israelites to leave. But it wasn't long before he changed his mind, realizing he was losing his entire labor force. The Egyptian army, equipped with horses, chariots, and skilled soldiers, set out in hot pursuit of the fleeing Israelites. The air buzzed with tension, and fear spread like wildfire through Moses' weary band of travelers. The Israelites found themselves trapped between two immovable forces, Pharaoh's ferocious army closing in from behind and the vast, impassable Red Sea in front of them. The situation seemed hopeless. Some cried out in disbelief, questioning Moses, "Did you bring us into the wilderness just to die?" The whispers of doubt grew louder. Could all their efforts, leaving their lives behind and following Moses into the unknown, have been in vain? Moses, standing firm and unwavering, called out to the people, "Do not be afraid. Stand still and see the salvation of the Lord. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Imagine this: a man, with no weapon in hand, against the strongest army of the time, urging his people to trust God. The odds seemed ridiculous to any human observer, but Moses was not operating on human logic. He was acting on faith. God spoke to Moses, instructing him to stretch out his staff over the sea. Perhaps you've heard this part before, but have you ever pictured how astonishing this must have been? The moment Moses obeyed, the wind began to howl, and the waters that once seemed endless started to ripple, then shift, and finally split into two towering walls. The middle became dry land, a path carved through the chaos of the sea. Imagine the scene: millions of people stepping hesitantly, then confidently, between two great walls of water, illuminated by the fire that guided their path by night. For every step they took, faith grew stronger. Pharaoh and his army, relentless and furious, plunged in after them, determined to drag them back into captivity. But something strange was happening to their chariots. Wheels jammed, horses stumbled, and terror consumed the Egyptian soldiers. Suddenly, Moses stretched out his hand once more, and the towering walls of water came crashing down. The sea swallowed Pharaoh's entire army, miraculously sparing only the Israelites. Their cries of terror turned into shouts of joy, despair transformed to awe-filled worship. Why does this story still resonate today? The parting of the Red Sea is not just a historical moment. It's a powerful symbol of hope and deliverance. It reminds us that even when the odds seem stacked against us, God makes a way where there seems to be no way. Whether it's an overwhelming personal challenge or a situation you think you'll never escape, the lesson is clear. Stand still, have faith, and let God do what only He can. Every one of us has moments where we feel trapped, with no way out. But the story of the Red Sea encourages us to take that next step, even when we don't see the full picture. Because just like for the Israelites, God is able to part the seas in our lives and lead us into freedom. So the next time life has you feeling cornered, remember this: if God could part the sea for a nation, what could He do for you? He's a waymaker, a light in the darkness, and the author of miraculous stories. Trust Him with yours. What would you do if you saw a sea stand still? Let us know in the comments. Bible, #Jesus, #God, #Jews, /Christian, /Christianity, /Faith.